Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Road to BlizzCon here, as we will be going into our second series of the day, and it is going to be between Team Dignitas and, of course, we have Team Liquid going up against them. This is going to be a good one, considering their previous bouts.
Yeah, a very big match here. What could have been, I think, the finals, or definitely could still be here in this tournament. Two of the very best European teams, and I think it's going to be really good to see them go head-to-head here.
Yeah, as you can see, this is what's happened so far here in Group B, with Na'Vi winning their first series of the day, 2-0 there against Pirates in Pyjamas. But needless to say, Pirates in Pyjamas, especially in that game number 2 there, Todd, really put up a fight against some of the big favorites here of the tournament.
Anytime you leave your opponent's score at 4%, I think you can definitely look at it as something that was a close game, and in this case, they probably are convinced they should have won it even. But sadly for them, it's not over till it's over, and in this case, they weren't quite able to finish it. Yeah, I think it's really cool to see them put up a fight. You know, nobody wants to see one-sided games, and they're still in. You know, even though they lost to Na'Vi here.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty tough group to try and make it out of.
That's true. They will be going down to the lower bracket with Pirates in Pyjamas, so they'll be playing off against the loser of the next match coming up. So let's focus now on Team Liquid versus Team Dignitas, as we've already seen these two teams battling out quite a few times in the European scene, and at the moment, as of late, Team Dignitas, our previous Bob question mark, have been getting the better end of Team Liquid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're one of the teams that is looked at in terms of skill as one of the teams that right now is definitely reaching the highest of heights in Europe, in the European scene, and that is doing really well. One of our analysts here, actually, at this event, who sadly you won't get to hear today, but tomorrow you will get to hear from, is Kendrick Swish, and he went and spoke to some of these players, and when he talked to Blackscorp from Team Liquid, Blackscorp said that he was asked which teams does he respect in and out of Europe, and he said, well, in Korea, MVP Black, because they are the only teams that put them until before, and in Europe, Team Bob question mark, which in this case became Team Dignitas very recently. So definitely a lot of respect here for the opponents from Team Liquid.
And as you can see here is Team Liquid, a menace. They only really participated in one of the qualifiers here throughout the Europe Opens, but they were able to win it. And they were the only team through the European Open stage that didn't drop a series in the qualifier that they played in. So that says big words, but as of late have not been looking as invincible as they did before. So we can actually head into the draft here now between these two teams. We will be starting things out on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and they've already got a few bans already going down on either side here, Todd.
Yeah, we had Kael'thas banned straight away here from Team Liquid, and Uther on the other side. So fairly standard. You know, we often see these heroes very, very high up there in terms of being banned and picked very quickly. Jaina first pick here as Team Liquid. They want to have a solid damage dealer assassin to deal consistent damage. And now Dignitas, they can choose what they want to open up with.
Interestingly enough, no move forward straight to the tanks, and that's going to be starting already here for Dignitas. They're going to go for Johanna here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. That is a very strong pick with the Condemn build as it works out.
Team Dignitas is one of the only few teams that if they can get Johanna and Leoric, they will pair it up with an Asmodan, especially on this map. Probably the best map here to try and do this. And it's the Leoric. I'm really feeling the Asmodan here coming up, unless we see it banned beforehand here from Team Liquid.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, they have that second ban later on that can come in. And also something that Team Liquid's done very smartly here is, I think, taking Jaina away as their first pick from Dignitas as well. Dignitas have had really, really strong play with Jaina, and she's always been one of the top damage dealers in this matchup anyway.
What we've seen from Team Liquid, though, in the past is that Blackscorp, on the melee assassins, he does really well, in particular Illidan and Zeratul, but if he's forced into playing something else, then it gets really difficult. And especially in particular when he was playing Warriors. I think it was Leoric that he was on a few times, and Liquid lost most of these games. But now, Raynor was picked, and Raynor is with Sonya, is one of the heroes that was in the game for a very long time, but only very recently started being picked again.
That's a very early Raynor as well. And of course, Raynor is definitely in the meta right now and something that is very prevalent, but that is a pretty early Raynor. So what they're basically doing here at this point is really limiting Team Dignitas' damage potential. And if they do go down the idea of banning out the Asmodan as well, for potentially Dignitas to actually go for on this map, they could really limit Team Dignitas very heavily.
Absolutely. You want to have some of the strongest of everything out there. Support, assassins, warriors. If you want to be able to do well in some of those games. And Liquid in the past, we've seen them do that a lot, in particular with the healers. With picking more than one healer themselves, banning out two, and making sure their opponents get, I guess, a subpar or not one of the best healers out there.
The thing is that Team Liquid, obviously with the Uther being banned, they're actually going to pick up Muradin. That's interesting. I thought that they may go down a healer path because Dignitas is very known for running Karazim, right? And that would become Bakery's big choice here with Uther out of the running at the moment. So now they've got to ban out something. If they banned another healer that they don't particularly want to go up against, because they have their choice of healer next, that could be a powerful pick here.
And Dignitas all alike, if they want to prevent Team Liquid from getting something here, like another of those warriors that they think could be dangerous, or even like a Zeratul, you know. Against Team Liquid, there's a lot of niche picks that they're very good at, you know, Vikings being one of them, Abathur. If you want to make sure that you don't have to face one of these, then banning it now would be nice. But Liquid, they're so good at so many heroes that it's really hard to actually prioritize properly in this case for Dignitas.
I think these two teams in general are two of the most well-rounded teams when it comes to how many picks they mix in. I mean, Team Dignitas likewise has shown us a lot of variance in their picks as well. So we'll see what they're wanting to go down. But right now they're running down their pool. They're going to ban out Sonya, which has seen way more traction as of late. Definitely in the Korean scene, but certainly more so in the European scene as of late. They're not quite as well versed with it, though, just yet. It's
really cool to see, actually, you know, the meta shifting all the time, and heroes like Raynor and Sonya coming back really strong. And in particular, Sonya, I mean, in the past, we haven't seen too much of her, and whatever we didn't always necessarily do well, so it's really nice. I mean, in this case, we're not going to see her, but she makes an appearance in the draft, so to speak, with being one of the bans here, which gives us hope that maybe later in the tournament we'll see her actually being played. And Asmodan going to be a respect pick here from Team Liquid. I think most people know that, you know, Dignitas, they're really good with Asmodan on this map in particular. Dignitas, when they got interviewed actually before, remember, they said very openly that they think ADRD is the best Asmodan in Europe, and I mean, it certainly looks so in some of his games. Karazim being picked up in Zeratul here, that's a lot of melee heroes.
That is, but it's also a lot of power. I mean, technically, with Karazim, if you've got more melee heroes, that means that you're probably going to be able to hit more people with Breath of Life, or Breath of Heaven even, I should say, to actually heal them. So all of those fights are going to be very, very condensed, and as I said before, Bakery in Europe right now, he is the best Karazim. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is the best Karazim.
Of course he is. Nobody else plays it.
Well, they should.
People,
They definitely should.
I'm just playing, yeah.
He's very powerful.
Yeah. Malfurion going to be picked up here by Team Liquid. I mean, they didn't need a healer, so might as well. And now for their last pick, do they want to go for something like an Illidan? Or do they play without a melee assassin? Kerrigan, you think is a possibility on this map? With a Muradin as well in there?
I mean, technically, a Kerrigan combo could hit a lot of members on Team Dignitas' side. But I'm feeling a second tank.
Against the Karazim, you think Kerrigan fares well?
Well, it's going to be the Arthas in the end, which has seen more play, much more play in recent times. But the Kerrigan's hit and miss, really, here. And now Team Dignitas, I feel they need some ranged. I think they need a Nazebo or something like that.
Vara,
here.
maybe? Oh, Zagara, okay.
Oh, okay. She survived in the draft there for quite a while. So it was the ranged in the end. And we do end up there with also some great, great CC. I mean, Zeratul and Zagara having the control that they're going to have over these team fights could be very, very pivotal.
Absolutely. Pretty sure it's going to be Sneech as well on the Zeratul. He was telling us, last night, sitting in the hotel restaurant, about how we might see some Zeratul out of him. And, well, definitely delivering here in map number 1 of Dignitas in the tournament up against Team Liquid. Going to be trying to give them a taste of their own medicine, so to speak, because Liquid, they've been known to run a lot of Zeratul with Black Scorp in their composition and done well with it in the past.
All right, well, we are getting geared up here. As I said before, it is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen for this first map. And, we've talked a little bit about some of the better choices on this map in previous tournaments, but something that does stand out a lot on Team Dignitas' side of things is that Zagara being able to have vision control of those turn-in points is very important with the creep tumors, and it also kind of gives you peace of mind. You can spot when rotations are going to be trying to hit you down that funnel through the middle of the lanes, which is very important. So it's certainly a good pick for this map.
Yeah, but Team Liquid, they have an Arthas. So removing those Crypt Tumors is actually going to be fairly easy for them. The thing is, that if they rotate around and they're not careful, then getting caught by Zeratul, who's going to provide a lot of vision and do a lot of damage for whoever gets caught there, it's going to be really difficult for them to properly stay alive. The fact that they have a Rainer over something else that would be, I guess, a little bit more sustainable and able to move out safely also might come into play. Even though Rainer, I mean, right now, personally, like especially in Hero League, he's like one of the most weird / frustrating hero to play against, just because he attacks from so far, does so much damage, and every time you get up close, you have to really commit. Like you're really getting in there. There is no disengage potential. You're gonna have to fight until either you die or he does, and usually, well, it's you who dies. Story of my life.
All right. Well, it looks like we will be getting into this very, very soon between these two teams. The thing is about Group A, it is so stacked. Team Liquid, arguably one of the best teams in Europe for the entire duration of the past couple of months, now goes up against Team Dignitas in their first game, who have really shown that with the forming of this group that they have, with the 3 Brits, with ADRD in there as well as Zarmany, they've been able to... They said it in, I think it was the second Europe Open. They said, when we asked them before, we want to build a team specifically to beat Team Liquid. And they have done consistently in the past couple of times they've met each other. Team Liquid's not looking as invincible as they once did, for sure. That's
really cool, actually. That's someone who come out and say that and then somehow make it happen. But
yeah,
this is definitely, I guess, the biggest tournament here and qualifier that we've seen up to date. Liquid's there. It's funny because on one hand, you have Liquid, who are the most titled team in Europe and most consistent. They won 3 DreamHacks that they attended out of 3. And then you have Dignitas, the new, I guess, kids on the block, so to speak, assembled from multiple teams. You got some players from SK Gaming, old SK Gaming in there, in Snitch and Bakery, Zarmony, and then you have ADRD, who came straight from his Polish team, G2, back then. And now they go up against Team Liquid, who, even though they've been playing together for a very long time, as you said before, they've been struggling a little bit against Dignitas. Yeah, they definitely have. They definitely have. And there's so many like pocket things that Team Dignitas has at the moment over the others. They still have ADRD, who is their main drafter. He the mad scientist.
Basically, yeah, he is. He's throwing chemicals all over the place whilst he's doing these drafts. And I actually spoke to Dignitas a little bit yesterday, and I spoke to them about some of their drafts. And ADRD had already gone to sleep, and they were just like, well, ADRD's not here, so I'm not really sure we can answer that too much, because that's how much of a role he has on these kinds of things. And when
you knew we were going to be asking stupid questions,
yeah, I guess so.
You didn't want to bother. Went straight to bed.
But they always seem to have this tendency to ban out Uther, and if they don't have to ban out Uther in the first phase, then they'll take it if they need it, that's fine. But then they have the fallback of Karazim. I'm really wondering how quickly some of these teams are going to eventually latch onto this, because Bakery has so much impact on these games. He plays Karazim like nobody else in Europe right now, and it is a big deciding factor in these games when he hits those pivotal Divine Palms.
Yeah, but surely Liquid, they've done their homework, they know exactly how he likes to play, and they've already thought of ways to properly play against it. Don't you think so?
Well, let's see. I mean, they're going to have to show it here. This is very, very important. You don't want to be going down to that lower bracket match because you want to just go straight through into the winner's match to then just try and rival for that first place spot, because when you go into tomorrow, you want to be going in first place, so you're against the second place from the previous from the previous group. But anyway, we are getting loaded up now onto Tomb of the Spider Queen. There is Dignitas, Team Liquid. They've both got team at the start of the thing, so it's kind of throwing me off. But we're going to get into our second series of the day here. Will be Liquid versus Dignitas. This is sure to be a good one as we get onto Tomb of the Spider Queen to start things off. All right, spawning over to the left-hand side in the blue, it will be Lucifron going to be playing on Muradin. We're going to have Grand Paquette here on Malfurion. Vortex will be playing Arena. Black Scorp is on Arthas. And then we have Falcon going to be playing over here on the Jaina. Then to the right-hand side, we have Team Dignitas with ADRD on Zagara, Bakery is on Karazim, Zarmany is on Johanna, Arthuro is going to be on Leoric, and finally Snitch is on Zeratul. He did say he was going to get to play it a lot.
Yeah, and he did say he likes Regen Master, and went for that as well here. A Zeratul that we've seen has changed a lot. Rather than going for, the all-nuke build Nowadays, you definitely pick different talents than what you used to. Seasoned marksman on the Rainer.
Yep. It's a good choice, very good choice. We'll be seeing him building up the auto attack damage. It's one of the best maps for it because you do end up going up against so many extra minions with the Web Weavers spawning as many as they do throughout the entire game. So let's see how this is going to play out. Already we're seeing Dignitas rotating between mid lane and top lane. So they're really trying to farm up someone like Snitch here with those regen globes and get him very, very tanky for later on.
Yeah, Falcon's going to have to be really careful top, especially when he goes and picks up those gems, because with the Jaina, you don't have any escape. If you get jumped by 3 heroes, you're going to die almost every single time.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to play it really, really safe. And we see Snitch actually top, kind of waiting.
Still rotating on around. And while all this is getting going, it's important to talk about the map, right? We're collecting gems. We're getting in those turning points. We're summoning the Web Weavers. Once you've turned in enough gems that you can see down to the bottom right-hand corner, and those Web Weavers will push very, very hard for you in these lanes. It's very, very important that you control these turning points, though. And that's something that ADRD with these creep tumors is already starting to do here for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, if we look at both compositions, and especially, you know, thinking on the head-to-head here, it feels like Dignitas might have a slight edge with this, but Liquids, they are very, very good at taking fights and winning them. In the past, we've seen them really pull off miracles in some of these fights and win some of the cleanest ones, I think, in the history of the game. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go about engaging, but Zagar gets caught here.
Oh, ADRD,
How
very,
could he
very
live?
close.
I guess they were afraid they would get caught here at
Yeah.
the top, so the Falcon, in this case, he just pulled back.
Very, very careful there, making sure that they don't get counter-rotated and lose 2 for 1. It's very important here. ADRD just stretching out into that lane once again. They are accounting for every hero right now, so they know where they are. So ADRD is more than happy to just sit around back in lane.
Ooh, Lucifron is getting cornered here a little bit. He's going to dwarf toss out of there.
Nice escape, nice escape. He is okay, and level 4s do end up hitting. It's going to be almost full condemn build by the looks of things for the Johanna here on the other side, here for Team Dignitas.
Black scope on a warrior, by the way. You know, I've talked about how Liquid, they haven't had as much success when he was on a warrior in the past. But I guess with the current meta and with Zeratul being banned almost all the time, it's not too surprising that he ended up on one of those.
Still a little bit of an engagement down towards the bottom here as
Ooh.
Black Scope's coming in from the back. He didn't hit anybody with his Howling Blast, though, so he's going to have to back on out here for a moment. I don't think they can really continue on there. They don't have enough lockdown here to Team Liquid.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. Why did he Howling Blast there?
Not sure. I think he may have pressed Alt Howling Blast. It was on top of him, so maybe he was a little bit scared of Zeratul actually swinging on around to do some damage towards him. But regardless, at the moment, we're seeing pretty even in terms of the gem consumption at the moment here. Nobody's really lost any at this point.
Yeah, focused attack here on level 4 for the Zeratul, so still pretty standard. Probably going to be first aid on level 7 as well to make sure he has a lot of hit points, can come back into fights a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's a slow and steady start here for both of these teams, just trying to wrestle with one another. Zarmany is just going to back on out towards the bottom, and he should be fine.
And on this map, the first turn-in being 50 gems, you don't usually try to turn in for 3 or 4 or even 5 gems. You wait until you have 10 plus, sometimes 15, and then you try and go for it. And in this case, we're going to see Dignitas going for the first few gems being turned in here with the Zeratul turning in 11.
Ooh. Bakery in a lot of trouble. He will be first blood. He goes down. Really good pickup there. Good Howling Blast into the roots as well. And that's uncharacteristic.
There was nothing to escape to here for the Karazim. And in this case, Liquid. This might be their cue to try and go for a full turn in here because they've got quite a few gems.
Yes, they do. And they have a little bit of wiggle room. But still, we're seeing Team Dignitas controlling these points well. Falcon's going to get a little bit of damage done to him, but Snitch will be totally fine from there. Singularity Spike goes off at the very end, and Zarmany gets out towards the bottom.
Great dodge here on the stern. Aethero Angel not quite trying to turn in here himself. He's going to cover the rest of his team. ADRD is going to turn in 20 gems here. And if Aethero Angel turns in himself, that's going to be the first Web Weavers here entering the game for Team Dignitas.
Not too bad, not too bad. Still playing it out quite slowly. That's an alright stun onto Aethero, but he's Leoric, so he will be totally fine in getting out. He took Hardened Bones at level 4, and he's actually taking, I think it's Ghastly Reach. Yes, it is, at level 7. So he could technically couple that up with Renewed Swing later on at level 16.
Yeah, Frost Armor on the Jaina here is really going to help in countering the Zeratul.
Yeah, that's true. That's something that we see a lot on Jaina's at level 7 to help specifically against Zeratul. And basically what that does is it slows down his attack speed and reduces the damage when you're actually going up against something like a Zeratul who's attacking very fast against you there. So that's something that you almost only see against Zeratul there on Jaina's.
Arthas almost got caught here at the bottom, but was able to pull back, tap. Vortex is going to be caught though.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, like, Jaina's taken that, sure, then you can start focusing on Vortex, and if he doesn't have his adrenaline boost off cooldown, then he could take big, big damage. Falcon, though, is trying to get a turn up towards the top, gets denied.
Yeah, that was just on time here from the Zagara. And right now, with both of these teams being so close to a full turn in it, I think we might have a fight here to try and see who can get it, unless one of the team kind of backs down.
Yeah, it's getting to that point where it's scary contention.
He's got exactly enough.
This is perfect. He can't be denied. Snitch is not going to be able to get there in time. Even a Moonfire actually almost knocked Snitch off his mount there. So, but they do get the turn in, and that's going to be the first Web Weavers going over to Team Dignitas, Team Liquid. I shouldn't say team. I really shouldn't say team. I'm just going to go with Liquid and Dignitas.
I won't blame you if you do, Kairos.
I'm so used to calling them Bob, it's hard to get used to Dignitas,
yeah.
But there you go.
Bob question mark, even.
Yeah.
And in this case, Liquid having that going in their favor. They're going to be pushing here with 5 in mids against 5 from Dignitas. Interesting.
Already Zomni moves in there with it Condemned, trying to clean things up. That might be his death, though. No, he's able to get out there. Iron Skin was popped, so he got himself a little bit of shields whilst he keeps himself alive. This is a strong push coming out from them, but they're holding on strong. But the problem is that the Web Weavers on the other lanes are gone uncontested at the moment.
Yeah, Snitch took a lot of damage here, had to pop first aids. Also really counting on his regen master here to keep him in the game. Liquid's closing in on level 10 a little bit faster than Dignitas is right now.
And they did a really good job, for the most part, to continue keeping them in the mid lane and slowing down the cleaning up of the other 2 Web Weavers up towards the top. But Dignitas, in turn, respected that pretty well and only split off ADRD as well as Johanna to clean those up. So they only lost the towers, but you're right, level 10 is in place.
Yeah, they're trying to go for an engagement here. It's Team Liquid, or at least prevent the turn in here. Athero Angel, he's got enough, but Liquid are going to be covering here these turning points, guarding them with their lives.
And they've got to be so careful about the potential lockdown now from Ring of Frost that is available here to Team Liquid. Lucifron's moved in towards the back here, putting some pressure onto ADRD. But at the same time, there's so much AoE damage that we could see out of Team Liquid if they're able to get a fight. But level 10s have now hit here for Dignitas as well.
Yeah, Divine Palm here was picked. Going to be very important. Bless Shield as well, and here we go.
Oh, Athero taking quite a bit of damage. He's going to have to march with the Black King out of there for a moment, but he's still quite low. Has to actually Wraith Walk out of there. They managed to lock up Arthas, though. He's all the way in the thick of things. Even the Maw is able to lock down quite a few of them. They're keeping them isolated out for so long. Great Divine Palm saves Bakery there for a moment. Lucifron and Vortex took big damage during all of that. It's been a divide and conquer fight, and already Dignitas take a fantastic engagement.
Yeah, Snitch delaying the Void Prison for a very long time here and catching 2 heroes that were trapped in it. As soon as it ended, it's going to be a turn in here right behind this from Team Dignitas. And Liquid, even though they got the first turn in, it didn't really matter because Dignitas, they waited for a fight to finally come up. They picked their spots and eventually they win a huge team fight here.
Yeah.
That's going to put them ahead in experience.
They're not afraid of just blowing up one of their warriors that gets in the thick of things. And Black Scorp is usually that guy here in recent times that, you know, Team Liquid have had a bit of a harder time kind of adjusting to this meta, this double warrior meta, and not going for the melee assassins, but they try and lock down Zagara there to start things off. Good counter-attack, ultimately blowing up Zagara there with a little bit of extra AoE, and they will clean up that Web Weaver as well. So that's a kind of a feather in their cap to keep them in this phase of the game.
Divine Palm wasn't available just yet here, sadly. Black Scorp's getting jumped on top of it. He's going to go down, I think, at top here. Wow.
Good pickup. Not too bad at all. 1 for 1 in the end. Was trying to see the rotation come out from Team Liquid.
Oh, Grandpack hitting. Almost got caught here.
Liquid's
going to rotate. They want a 4-on-4 here at the top.
That's a lot of damage going on to Zarmany, though. There's the Ring of Frost as well. The Palm hits, though, straight away as he's about to die off there. Condemned just bringing in Lucifron there for a moment, but Zarmany's still going to end up dying if he's not careful. He's very, very low. They managed to keep him alive. The stun goes through, but doesn't manage to catch him. Even with Pierce, doesn't manage to get the kill.
And he has so many gems as well here. Void Prison just came back up here for Snitch if he wants to use that, but not even going to need that. The Web Weavers, actually, they're still the one at the bottom here pushing in. And both teams They still got quite a few gems here to work with, in particular Dignitas. Oh my god, they got so many gems.
And this is the big problem that I'm going to see here for Team Liquid moving forwards, is that all of these fights are so condensed that going up against a healer like Karasim is going to be extremely difficult. His heal is going to be healing so many targets against a heavy AoE comp that we're seeing here, aside from the auto attacks of Reyna.
Could be a full turn in here for Dignitas, because they've got over 90 gems in total. They only need 55 to get a full turn in, and they're one talent ahead.
Yeah.
If Liquid try to slow them down, if they try to fight, they're going to be in trouble here. They can't risk it right now.
Yeah, what have we got? We've got Burning Rage, Relentless, and there's the Web Weavers actually descending. Little Crushing Hope with Wormhole, and finally we have Mutalisk here as well for Dignitas. And right now, they're in the comfort zone. They've said on multiple occasions in the past that this is one of the maps that they feel most comfortable on here in the European scene.
It's actually, I mean, I feel when you're confident on this map, you're basically saying we're better than everybody, because this is one of the most, I guess, important maps in terms of decision-making, being able to make stuff happen and just play, you know, have a clear game plan. Just outplay your opponent straight up.
Web Weaver going to be cleaned up pretty quickly in mid. The one towards the bottom already has a 4, but it's where they're focusing up towards the top that is most important. Getting themselves that experience lead even further, because right now, as much as they can take engagements between now and level 20, it's all about getting to 20 first.
Yeah.
Making sure that they can really put themselves in a big, big power position to eventually try and snowball off something like a boss, etc.
Level 13 here comes in for Team Liquid finally, and they try and go for an engagement straight away. Leoric goes very, very low on hit points.
If he'd have died, 31 gems having gone down in that kind of position, Team Liquid could have zoned that out really heavily and really caused problems there for them, despite, you know, needing to catch up anyway.
I think Arthas having Relentless here is definitely going to be nice with the improved ice block as well for Jaina from level 13, and Giant Killer on Raynor, looking to try and do a lot of damage here to, I guess, whoever's in ranged. Are they actually going for this?
This is ambitious, because I think it's been revealed. I think they may have seen them actually heading up towards here. They're cleaning up this creep slowly, and they're looking to try and counter-engage. I don't think they read into it properly.
Yeah.
They didn't necessarily read into it properly, but Dignitas was giving them the respect enough after seeing them moving through the creep to
Lassifron's turning in. Oh, he actually interrupts to try and go for the fight here instead. Level 15 against 13.
We see the match of the Black King. The ice block has been popped there by Jaina to keep her alive while all of that's going on. Wraithwalk's going to come out here to try and keep Leoric alive. He's still very low, though. He's going to drop 31 gems if they get the follow-up kill. Palm, though, will be able to save Athero, but I'm not sure if they have much more to save him, as he is going to go down. That's a lot of AoE damage going down onto this right-hand side. The fight goes catastrophically there for Dignitas.
Yeah, Liquid with a fantastic fight themselves. Yeah, great positioning. Tranquility was popped exactly on time to make sure that everybody was saved. And now they're going to be going for the full turn in themselves. With Lassifron having so many gems. Zagara gets sniped.
Just caught on the very edge of that Howling Blast. Perfect move there for Blackscorp to be able to catch that. And that is not only the Web Weavers about to push, but also them taking down the fort up towards the top already.
All lanes were really pushed here, though, from Dignitas. Liquid needed something like this.
Yeah.
Because all of those lanes were pushed so far. Now they can just spread out, try to soak experience from all 3 lanes, catch back up on experience, which they've already done a fantastic job of.
That's definitely true, and also something to note about that is because the Web Weavers will spawn where your opponent's lane has pushed to. So technically this Web Weaver towards the middle and towards the bottom isn't as effective as it would have been if Team Liquid have had proper control of the map to begin with.
So many gems once again here on both teams. They're going to have enough to go for another turn in here. Whoever could go for it, as level 16 is closing in very rapidly here from both teams. I think Dignitas might just be waiting for that level 16 here to try and engage, but remember the Web Weavers, they need to keep them on mind, they need to try and defend them, because they can do a lot of damage here to those structures and even Minions Wave, and create some good lane pressure to try and help as well with the fight.
Yeah. You could see Zarmany trying to slow down the progression of that push there, even with just Condemn at the front, but the amount of damage he took at the front was quite severe overall, but they do have level 16. This is now definitely a position where they could engage. We already see Rending Cleave being taken here for Snitch, so you could easily come in and do quite a bit of damage if they do want to engage into this, but level 16 has been hit by Team Liquid as well, just in time to make sure that that engage doesn't really happen.
Yeah, Athero Angel with the imposing presence. And Circle of Life here on the Karasim as well. Double imposing presence, actually. Both Leoric and Johanna are going to have it. Can they interrupt Snitch?
To interrupt so all 5, that would have been super scary.
And in this case, Liquid being able to get yet another turn in here. It's going to be a fantastic time for them to have this, but they're getting engaged into.
Tried to throw down the Void Prism onto just one member alone. Can they do enough with that, though? It looks like Blackscop's going to take some big damage. Shield goes down onto him. He's trying to slow down everybody, and he does actually survive during all of that. They blow up Johanna while that's going on. ADRD saved by the palm, but he's going to go down anyway. Blackscop still manages to get out. No, Bakery goes in there with the Radiant Dash, but he sacrifices himself for an Arthur's kill, and that's going to leave them pretty vulnerable in the defense now.
Wow, Blackscorp surviving for so long here. Army of the Dead, Death Calling himself, going back into the range of Tranquility here. He won that fight here. He really helped by tanking so much for his team. And Liquid, since they're the Web Weavers coming in, they're going to actually push so far here on every single lane, do so much damage. And that's going to be yet again another experience lead for them.
Yeah, this is very strong. And also the level 16 talent of even just Executioner coming in here for a fully auto-attack Bill Raynor is really, really powerful with an Arthas, really powerful with a Jaina, because they're always slowing down their opponents. So allowing him to have that kind of room with this auto-attack build to go for Executioner at level 16 is really powerful.
Yeah, Stone Skin probably helped a lot as well here on the Arthas earlier in that fight. Sure he didn't fall too fast, which would have been a disaster actually if it had happened. But in this case, being able to take a keep here, Liquid are going to be in a fantastic position to just clear out those camps, play it safe for now, and then down the line possibly try to go for yet another turn in. Snitch on 69 gems.
All right, and it's looking all right for them. We do see them taking that hard camp towards the middle there, with those bruisers now going to push on through the middle. And they were even, I mean, they were a little bit unaware as to where they were, Dignitas were. So they checked the boss momentarily there, but they were not in that location. So they didn't get anything done for the past minute or so.
Oh, Liquid was chasing really far here. Harmony, they need to be careful. I'm surprised Snitch doesn't try to go at the bottom to get a turn in, but as I say that, he's thinking about it surely.
I mean, the overall goal here for Dignitas is to get a good Void Prism into a good Maw, to isolate two people out, try and blow someone up during all of that. We saw it in one of the first engagements, but since then, it hasn't happened. Well, are they going to be able to find it again? I'm not sure. A little bit of damage goes on to Vortex, not enough to really cause them too much problems, though.
Yeah, he's going to need to be healed here, though. And in this case, seems like the game is slowing down a little bit. Like Dignitas, they're one level behind. They want to make sure they're on same levels, even though they're not going to be one talent behind. And I'm sure they would love to turn in, but Liquid, knowing that, they're just hiding a little bit everywhere. Look at this at the bottom. Snitch, he's trying to go for it. Blackscorp's going to Howling Blast on time, possibly. Just destroy it.
Still just got to be a little bit careful there. You can pop Iron Skin all you want here as Johanna to tank up some damage, but if you leave yourself susceptible to CC later on whilst you're trying to retreat out, that could be bad news bears, but Johanna stays alive for now.
Liquid are just trying to buy time, make sure that there is never a turn in here from Dignitas until they finally themselves get their own turn in. They know that they're heading experience. Getting level 20 earlier would mean for sure that they can get the turn in or that they would win the team fight if Dignitas try to stop them from doing it. So they're doing this great.
Yeah, it will be Northern exposure as well now that I noticed that for them. And Blackscorp just chilling out. Where was he?
Just covering covering that
this
turning point, making sure that nobody can access that. And Liquid has done that so well. Oh my god, they stayed across those two turning points perfectly.
Team Liquid was probably the beginning of the control in Tomb of the Spider Queen when you look at the EU meta. For a long time, they had really strong masterful position on this map. So this is, for me, when I watched this match on Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's two of the very best in Europe playing on this map.
And Dignitas getting a little bit sick of it here. They choose to go for the fight before Liquid can get that level 20.
There's the Void Prism trying to lock down two members. Blackscorp's going to walk straight back into that, though. So despite them trying to blow him up, it wasn't able to follow it up at all. There's the Ring of Frost there, and actually trying to lock them down with that Maw. Actually looking for the disengage potentially here. It was trying to block them out for a little bit longer, but Zeratul's going to end up going down. They don't find the combination they need to.
Look at how many gems he had. That was so many gems. He had 69 in total. That's a huge loss here for Dignitas.
Yeah, massive.
And from there, Liquid, they're soon, I think, going to have enough gems of their own here to go for a turn-in, but they can't even go for the boss. With Zeratul being down for this long, they're hesitating. I think they might not go for it.
That was a really desperate position for them. You could see it. I mean, with how they used the Void Prism, and not exactly the perfect one, how the Maw was used, there is a defensive nature there from Dignitas, so not the best of positions, and now that means they give up a boss for that.
Yeah.
That's Team Liquid is looking really on form here in this first game.
And behind this, having lost as many gems as they did, Dignitas are not going to have enough to go for a turn in themselves. That boss is going to be pushing in. And with the wall already being done at the top lane here, I think that keep is, I mean, if they push with it, surely going to go down.
Zamni was pushing out the middle lane, and he's just going to base on out. They're trying to scramble to get to level 20 as quickly as possible.
That's another turn-in. They had exactly enough as well here with Black Scorp turning in the last 12.
Boss.
Liquids. A lot of people underestimate them. They're showing here once again that they are forced to be reckoned with.
Yeah, boss as well as Web Weavers pushing in. This is going to be difficult, especially if they protect the boss long enough for the Web Weaver to come out to this location as well. Keep is going to be taking a lot of damage. At the moment, Dignitas really up against the wall here.
Literally. Back in their base here, trying to defend against this. That boss still about half hit points left on it.
This could be core. This could definitely be core here unless they do something very, very ultimate. He's going to try and do something with this. They actually dodged the Ring of Frost. The Void Prism's been used defensively to try and save the core here, but Joanna's already been taken down while all of this has been going on. Arthuro, likewise, they can't really find anyone to focus down. They don't have the damage capability to try and burst someone down during all of this, and it's not really going to work out. The core is going to end up falling, and Team Liquid will come out of the gates with the first game here against Team Dignitas.